Hi, everyone.
Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Hi. It's so great. Look, I like that. Like, they're jumping saying hi.
The energy is
not
nice.
even them are saying hi to, but they quickly jump to say hi. I'm like, well, okay, hi to you guys, but mostly hi to our listeners.
Yes,
welcome back. This is another episode of To Be Quite Honest. With me today, I have two very special guests. Norma, do you want to introduce them?
Okay, well, like we always say, our guests are very special.
Very
and
special.
Today with us, we have Ezigbo Ezeh. You work with Mixta Africa.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yes. Would you want to tell us what you do?
So I'm a sales representative for Mixta Africa, basically.
What does that mean?
So we sell the houses that Mixta constructs.
Oh, okay.
Nice to have you.
Mm-hmm.
And then with us, we have Tade.
Hello.
Hi, Tade.
Hi.
Okay,
How's
so
everyone
you want to
doing?
tell us what you do with Mixta?
Okay, so I work in the commercial strategy team.
Okay.
I also manage the diaspora engagement at Mixta Africa.
Okay. So when you say commercial strategy, what does that mean?
So more of like research, finding innovative solutions to allow more people to own homes.
Oh, okay. That's
in
interesting.
Africa.
That's
So,
interesting.
yeah,
That's
it's
nice.
exciting.
That's nice.
I think it's very great because that's like sort of perfect, and it just literally fits directly into what we're trying to do at Mixta, which is build communities across
Yes.
Africa.
Yeah.
So it's very interesting that you sell the homes and you think of ways
For people to come.
get
Yes.
more
And
people
get
into
how-
homes.
exactly.
Yeah.
All right, great. So
Well, so nice to have you guys.
Thank
It's so
you.
nice
thank
to
you for
have
Thank you for having
joining.
me.
Thank you for joining us today. So today we're with this special guest. We want to talk about like affordable housing. How realistic is the term affordable housing in Nigeria? Is it a myth? Is it a reality? Do people really believe that these houses can be affordable?
Yeah.
So just to jump into affordable housing, basically it's just housing that people below the median income level in a economic states can actually afford. What I'm trying to really drive the point is that a lot of people literally are in the median range, and that number is not very high. And there's a deficit of putting those people who earn that amount in houses.
Yeah.
So the question I'm trying to find out from both of you today is what do you think about like affordable housing generally in Nigeria?
So we'll start with you, Ezigbo. What, like, you sell this houses?
You sell houses, exactly.
You know, so I know, like you said, you work with Mixta. So are you saying that what you've seen in your years of experience being a sales representative, right? Do you think that these houses that go out and people, like these prices they put on these houses are affordable for people?
Well, what I would say, I mean, from my own experience and my own perception is that affordable housing in Nigeria is not a myth. However, I mean, with the whole thing of, what's going on in Nigeria, it's become more and more difficult, but for a lot of construction companies and, builders are now coming up with different ways that, just to bridge the gap to make it more affordable for people. So for instance, Mixta has now introduced like the mortgage. So, I mean, people who could not afford houses ordinarily are now able to sort of, get on the housing ladder. So, for instance, we've introduced the National Housing Fund. So now, yes, I mean, 2 years ago, we had a one-bedroom selling for 10 million, and I mean, you don't have to pay the 10 million all at once. You can basically do your down payment of, say, 500,000 that you've saved for such a long time, and then do a monthly payment of about, say, 15,000 naira. So, I mean, that, for me, that is affordable, right? So, basically, construction companies are now realizing that, we need to sort of put this kind of initiatives out there so that houses are now, rather become more affordable to the masses.
Okay, I have one quick question for you. I know that you sell, like, obviously, the products that Mixta deals with, but you see what's going on in the market. Do you think, have you seen a shift in the kind of products that people are putting out in the market? Not just Mixta, but generally, like, are you saying like your competitors really following this trend of trying to meet the demand for houses in a different price range as opposed to what used to be obtainable before?
I would say yes, because now we're seeing more of like 1 bed, 2 beds, 3 beds. Nobody's building gigantic houses anymore. So they've now sort of tailored it down to just things that are more affordable that people can now
put over someone's head.
Exactly. People, and then, I mean, they've now sort of just so that it's more affordable. The sizes have now been reduced a little bit.
A little?
Well, just so
the thing is that Nigerians, we don't even help ourselves because, like, we like big things.
But
I feel like I'm a
our pockets are not
minimalist.
that big, so we have to live within our means. That's just the truth.
Well,
speak your truth. It's okay, you're free. This is the same thing.
like, because I understand that, yeah, like you said, people are trying to reduce the houses. I had a conversation with, because I used to work, I was client facing for some time, right? And I had a conversation with someone that at the time wanted to buy a house, and she just kept on complaining about the size. I'm an African woman, we like space. If I carry like 3 boxes, it will fill the house. And I'm just like, then don't carry 3 boxes so that you will have to leave.
Exactly. So for people like that,
it's clearly that you don't
afford a bigger house.
Exactly. We like to, they like to live above their means.
Do you think it's living above their means? Or let me give you a good example.
I think so.
Look, let me tell you what's in those boxes. Clothes. Is the church wear. Is the wedding ashoebi. So I said she shouldn't work because she comes live in a smaller house. No, so I said she shouldn't buy ashoebi because she wants to live in a smaller house.
But at the end of the day, right, we always complain like to all these things. And the truth is, if you don't make it, like if you're not taking what is there, you're just always going to be a problem.
Exactly.
We're just always going to be a problem.
So something has to give.
Yeah, something has to give.
Why can't you guys bring down the price of your house? Why can't you make it more affordable? Why can't it be more affordable?
You really cannot eat your cake and have it.
You choose one. Do you want to buy a house or
do you want to keep all your activities?
Okay, you know what? So I'm going to just go on a limb and say, so there's clearly a demand for storage business. If you're going to build smaller houses, and whoever is out there listening, if you're going to build smaller houses, women need to keep their clothes somewhere, men need to keep their shoes somewhere. So maybe we should think of also storage, an opportunity for a storage business. Okay.
That's actually, you just ideated right here.
Anybody that uses it should actually just give you like maybe 2%.
I don't. No. It's okay. I do this for the affordable people that cannot afford houses. Okay, I'm trying to make sure that everyone has it. I know it sounds funny, but I really believe that home ownership is one of the best ways to change like the life trajectory of a family. Not only because you have like sort of security around knowing that every time you have a roof over your head. It's just the fact that if push comes to shove, you can then liquidate it for further money. It's so convenient, and it's something you can pass literally to the younger generation. So I think home ownership is really important.
It is.
I know that on this side of the world, people just say, it's an economic decision because numbers don't add up, it's cheaper to rent. But a lot of decisions must take into consideration things about people's emotions and the non-logical, the non-number driven parts of the decision making. We need to really consider that. So it's something that's really important. But Tade, I was just also going to ask you, when you said about ideation, and then you also mentioned that what you do is talk about like you innovate or you think you do research on
how to create solutions.
So tell me, what are the kind of things we should be thinking about just generally as a people, or what are the kind of things that Mixta is currently working on to like meet this housing deficit?
But before he answers that, do you think it is a myth, or do you think houses are
affordable houses? Do you think it's
So I won't say it's a myth, but I think the correct language to use is accessibility to housing, because there are all these stats people throw about that there's so deficits. It's a supply issue, it's a demand issue, but the reality of it is that how accessible is housing to the people that need it? Because one of this, if you look at maybe the World Bank and how do they define housing? It's housing with what's called again the basic infrastructure, because you have a lot of shanty houses around Lagos, and that's why there's a lot of pollution, congestion, and all of that. But you need a suitable home with the minimum requirements and infrastructure, which is what is our focus.
So what's the minimum requirements?
So
asking because
so obviously like the rooms, basic size of rooms, the basic finishing, like the outside, the what's it called again? Because of recent we've heard about a lot of building collapsing, right? And sometimes you look at the areas of like maybe some older parts of Lagos, that older buildings, do you understand? And because they were not built with the right structure, so you're not just looking at the container itself, you're looking at also the structure, the finishing and all of those things. And if it's not adequate, that's why you have a lot of collapse, and that's why you see places looking a bit shanty and all of that. So in terms
what's
of
the minimum requirements? I know. Let me tell you.
You're calling me back. So you have to allow me to dribble.
Okay, fine. Take your bottom forget what the question is, but you can go on.
So I'll say the basic requirements, is subjective. But as developers, what we want is that, you have the right structure the roads, the drainage.
Okay.
That's when you're talking about the infrastructure.
So just infrastructure.
Then the rooms. Exactly. You need bedroom. You have the basic living room and all these things. But like with the right materials, because it's not just the physical look and all of that. You can just come with any material.
Okay, so the reason I ask is because when you mentioned that the World Bank defines housing meeting basic, I thought maybe they would say you enter 3 bedrooms or 2 bedrooms or 1 bathroom, 2 rooms. So I was just like, because I know some people are building homes, 3 homes, 1 bedroom, like,
exactly.
Excuse, I'm like, excuse, 3 rooms, 1 bathroom, like, excuse you.
No, that's not
I don't think it's real. I think there are certain things that you can do. How would you have 3 rooms and 1 bathroom? Excuse you.
Yeah, so I think part of what he was saying. So I think in the construction industry, basically there's a minimum requirement for the size of the room. So for instance, maybe a 1 bed cannot be less than 11 square meters. Yeah. So that's the minimum, right? I mean, this is just an example, right? So you cannot build a house that is 11 square meters is probably very small.
But that's literally, you can't go lower than that. That makes sense.
Exactly.
Now with the amount of people that are staying in that room, because I mean, you have like in the inadequate situations, you have like maybe 11, 20 people and it's not healthy.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's not healthy.
It isn't because, no, but I mean, we've experienced it. Let's not talk about where we've experienced it before.
You have?
Maybe you went to camp.
I didn't say it.
But camp, they provide.
Is it adequate? It doesn't meet the minimum requirement. You know what? I don't want to talk about that.
Yeah, so that's why I said let's not even enter that conversation.
But you were going to talk about like the initiatives.
Okay, initiatives. So what we're doing, so we need to understand why people need a home. Some people to live there. Like you mentioned, it's emotional. I mean, some people, at the end of the day, they are trying to buy their first home, right? So sometimes, and I think we as Nigerians, we like to think big because of what we see on the TV. You want your house to have 5 bedrooms and you're just starting out.
Is it because of what we see on TV?
Around what people are doing. There's the quick, so it's on TV. So what I'm saying TV, social media and all these things.
The people they look up to.
Yeah. So because of that drives. So because of that, that sort of like drives where you want your house located, that where you want to live, the type of lifestyle. But meanwhile, if you're just starting out in your career, you should be looking at, okay, this first home. I mean, even if I'm not, is it comfortable for me? Does it have the right things? Or even if I'm not living there,
is it okay from work to my business?
Exactly. Or even without that, now when times where people are working from home. Do you understand? We have entrepreneurs. We even have people that are working professionally and they work from home.
I don't know why you're laughing, but okay.
But I'm sorry, say that this is general.
Did I say anything?
No, I'm really shocked to why he was laughing.
No, so I'm trying to hit a point.
No, I'm laughing at the fact that you said.
I will stop laughing, but okay.
So, no, but like you said, people are working from home.
So really, so those are sort of things that like even kind of like reducing the factor, like, around people want to live closer to where they work and all that. But I mean, slowly, little by little, things are getting, the factor is getting less apparent. Okay. But what I'm driving at is that, why do people need a home? Like, why should you have a home initially? Some people can have it for investment, which is what we should be thinking of. But right now, people are thinking that, if I want to buy a home, I need to spend about 20 million, 30 million, and all of these things. And in Nigeria or in Lagos alone, we have 22 million people. How many people are going to be able to afford, with the minimum where we spoke about, where we started from, how many people are going to be able to afford housing like that? So that's how we're thinking. So we're thinking that, okay, you know what? Some people know what they want, but they don't know what they need or how to get what they need. And I'll let you know why I said that. So for example, people know that they want to buy a home, right? But they're like, so people know they want to buy a home, but they're like, how do I get this home? They think it's inaccessible. So we at Mixta Africa, how we're thinking is that, how can we let these people know that this is still affordable? Like, for example, you spoke about the mortgage. That is like interacting with other people in the value chain. Another thing that we're even working on is in terms of like group investment, group purchase. So, I mean, I've had a couple of conversations. When you're ideating, you speak to people, do some research. And when I bring up the fact that, you can buy a home with a group of people, right? And at the end of the day, instead of spending the 20 million at once, all of you can put money together and you can gain what's called the rental income from these things. And that can even allow you to pay for your rents. And
sorry. So when you say we're working on group like investment, so is that like going to be a contract just in case one person decides to move?
Oh yes. So I mean that.
No, because the reason I was even going to that, because so I'm now let's just finish. Let me not interrupt you.
Yeah.
So I mean, a lot of these things is ideation, right? But I mean, it's standard.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of people currently that buy with us as a group for investment.
Okay.
But there are some people that are not really thinking that way.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you can have as many names on title documents. Don't have me take my word on that. But how people typically do it, they form companies.
You're a sales rep. Is that possible?
Yeah.
Yes.
As many,
possible.
As many names as you want on title deed.
documents.
I don't know of as many, but I know, you can have
Mr. Rice and Mrs. Beans.
Yes, you can have Mr. and Mrs. You can buy for your child, or you can buy for someone really. Yeah. But I don't know, like in terms of
practice, how it works is that initially the group that wants to buy can form a company. Do you understand?
Okay,
so you have a contract. You set this up together. Then it's that company that then buys the property. But what that allows you to do, so if you buy a property, 10 of you come together, buy a property worth 20 million. You don't have to go to the bank and each of you bring out 20 million each.
Fair.
Do you understand? And you buy it in a suitable place that is investment ripe. Yeah. So for example, at Lakaway Lakes, one of the things we do is that we have a thriving short stay business that earns people substantial amount of money monthly, yearly. So if you invest together and you're getting like rates up to like maybe 20% per annum, that money that you're getting, you can invest it into, people rent out places, right? So you don't necessarily need to live where you've bought. Do you understand? And you can use that to even save up to buy the bigger house you want. Okay. And even beyond that, let me just make this final. Even beyond that, what that allows you to do, by the time, so people take out mortgages for different things. You need the collateral. That is an asset that can be used as collateral
even
to an
though
extent.
It doesn't belong to you.
No, so the percentage. Do you own the home. You just own it as a group.
People.
Yes, but you own it as a group.
So the group. 10 of us own it, and then I want to take a loan. Am I going to convince Nida to let me take a loan for our one house?
No, so when you want to take a loan, right? You take it because you haven't taken a loan. Sorry, as a big girl. The big boys take loans.
I'm trying to do it just
the people that buy companies. You think they use their cash?
I wouldn't know. I usually don't buy.
Use their cash.
I usually don't buy, but I'm sure that they do. No, but no. The reason I ask is because. And I know we've sort of like deviated a bit from the topic of homes being affordable and sort of leaned into like how accessible are like options that people would normally not consider. Yeah. And we've landed at this group business. And what I'm trying to drive at is, as a group, it makes sense to buy to invest. Yes, I think that no one can dispute that because it's less strain on your cash flow. Cash flow, and then you are like sort of you can actually key into an asset.
You can say you're a landlord.
You can say
exactly. I'm saying that you're a landlord, but like you said,
people say what they like. If instead of you own the house, landlord.
No, it's landlord now. In this part of the world, we like to show off. So you can say like I have a property here, but nobody knows how you own it.
So what I'm trying to drive at is now that things like that are not necessarily like, so the home that you own with 10 people that's returning 20% interest is not like in the bracket of people that are trying to meet like a housing deficit. It's not the people that need the homes are not going to lean into. That's not the space.
No, but the thing is, if you look at it differently, I spoke about Lakaway, but we have affordable products. This market, like we think about it one-sided. By people owning a home, you're making it available to the rental pool. Some people might not own homes. You get? Or some people might own homes, but they don't live where they own. Okay. Do you understand? But if somebody owns a particular home, you're making it available for rental purposes. Okay. Which is then, so I think we think about housing. But
so housing, you shouldn't look at it as just ownership. Sometimes it's developing, sometimes it's renting, sometimes it's managing as well. Okay,
that's a good way to look at it.
That is a good way to look at it.
Because you can be in yours, rent, and then
there's even a new scheme, rent to own. Well, I think we can speak to that later.
Okay, let's talk about that later. let's talk about it.
Yeah, but okay, so we're all for the narrative that affordable housing is not a myth. You can actually purchase.
Yes.
Yeah, this true, and the good thing that Mixta is doing is providing alternative funding, right? So that's
and even apart from that, so Mixta is not asking you to give us a house. They say 2-bed is about 27 million. We're not asking you to give us
the 27 million.
So apart from the mortgage scheme, we also have a payment plan, right? So you can decide to.
So you don't pay like.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so you can decide to opt for
how long?
Well, exactly. I was going to say.
So for some projects, we have a 12-month payment plan. We have some 6 months, some 18 months.
Oh, okay.
So you don't necessarily need to give us all the money at once. You can spread your payments. So it makes it a lot easier for you to actually purchase the house, So,
okay, that's good. That's why even the homes that people have deemed affordable, not even just like the high-end bits.
Yes,
so even the homes that are in the range of people who are in the workforce and are going to have to take mortgages, you believe that those amounts are actually like reachable?
For homes ranging from say 14 million.
Okay.
Yeah, you can spread it for up to 18 months.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
All right, that's
14 million, 18 months. That would not
but
be
will you be
bad.
doing 14 you spread though? I mean, if you take
So you have to do a down payment first.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the balance you can
So the
now
down payment
spread.
is usually higher.
Well, yeah.
Is it a percentage of the amount?
So usually you say about between 20 to 40%.
Okay.
Yes. And then the balance you can spread over the period.
Have you bought any of these affordable homes? Is yes or no?
No,
Don't give it a run.
No, I mean, let's always wait.
You like putting people on the spot.
Oh my goodness.
To be quite honest.
Okay.
Was that intentional?
It wasn't.
Nice. I love it.
You just know where you are.
Right. Okay. So I'm just going to tell you this. About 2 years ago when we launched the NHF, the Mixta Flex, right? So we had like one bed selling for 10 million, two beds selling for 14 million. I mean, at the time we had like a lot of staff keen to it. And I was personally thinking that, should I not? I'm not a fast decision taker, so I was just still thinking.
Taking your time.
The price has gone up, right?
Do you get my friend's boss, my colleague's boss now? I was just still thinking, should I?
No, express.
And then, time went and then prices went up. And then, 2 years down the line, I'm like, I think
that's what happens when you wait. That's what happens when you wait. Prices never stay the same.
You shouldn't change your perspective if you're not a fast. If you feel like you need to think about it.
It was
another good time now because it's going to go up.
The housing prices go only one direction, and that's up. So it's always a good time
for those that bought at the time. It's great investment for them. So for me now, it's something I'm now rethinking. Okay, I know the price has gone up, but
still
certainly considering, because it would still go up anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Tell me about you.
Yeah.
Have you bought any?
I don't discuss my investments.
Okay. I stand a Renaissance man. He's about his investment.
You know that what you say.
Invest. Okay.
No, of course. You see, everybody that owns a house that's going to come out and say that they own a house. No, you don't want to attract attention.
You don't want to.
You're humble in your own way.
You know when you don't have something, you start saying, dribbling everybody.
You're like, what? It's everything.
Let me maintain my status.
He looked at Ezigbo and said, "Now is a good time."
No, yeah.
Who knows? Maybe me too. I'm gathering my phones. But like you said,
maybe we should put ourselves.
That's one thing I'm strongly considering. Or working towards.
Yeah, and I like the idea of like a group of friends.
No, I really do like the idea of a group of friends
because I feel like friends do like if you go out like night out and you buy drinks, you split the bottles.
Yeah,
why are you like
why
are you hesitant
for something that brings you more money in the future?
And if these are people that you trust and say, okay, let's do this thing, and you guys, I really
or
like that.
Or you can even join a club. Like there are a lot of investment. No, I know it's kidding.
No club. I think friends.
I know.
I want you know.
No, but even friends.
It's better than the angel you don't know.
I feel like
that's why you need a contract.
I feel like in friendships there, and I say this like personal experience.
Yeah.
If you do business with your friend, if you have a contract, and I think you should all get contracts if you're doing business with someone. But I want to categorically tell you that a contract will not protect you if your friend is gonna like literally not hold up her end. Your contract's not gonna make a difference.
Yeah.
If the person is going to disgrace you, that's what if they are not going to disgrace you, the contract will not enforce them to behave.
Of course.
So getting a contract is pretty much just so that you have checked that box. But the honest truth is, are you really going to take your friend to court? I mean, I'm sure you can, but but
how long is it going to take to solve that problem?
But I would always say that. I also think.
I feel like at the end of,
I believe that you know your friends. You know the friends that
you
know the friends that you say let's do business together.
You know the ones that you want to do business with, and you know the ones that you can say like I don't think it should ever get to a point. Well, people are mad, but you don't know. Like I was going to say, I don't think it should ever get to a point where you guys there's nothing that you guys cannot sit down and have a conversation about. Because
especially when it's like
ever that
deep, venture.
It's never that deep.
But in this life, one thing I've learned is that people surprise you.
Yeah, that's true.
You can't 100% know.
You cannot to a certain degree. I mean, I feel like you know the friends that will take your money around you.
Yeah.
You have a good idea. I know my look, let me tell you. If someone says, let's do this to Mrs. A, Mrs. B, Mrs. C, I'll say, you know what? let's drop C. A and B, okay. I don't want to fight. So let's not be problem. You know those kind of people. I mean,
but at the same time too, you can also find acquaintances that are like that. So for example, you're going into a business. I don't really think I was
going to an investment
with someone that I don't know your body.
Of course.
You know the worst part? You might be packaging for me.
You get some most likely carry me. Yeah, most likely packaging for me.
No, that's what I'm saying. But let me tell you, exactly. You can know your friend to a certain extent.
My mommy knows your mommy. At least you come to my house, you know where you
can't even know your acquaintance house. But what if it's not really their house? Maybe every day you go and drop there, you drop them outside there.
It's all discerning spirit. You can only try your best.
If you call me your friend and you want to package for me, you can package to a certain point. Like I'm your friend. I have to come to your house.
Eventually, I'll come.
I'll see how you're living. I can even if you don't want to tell me, I can put 2 and 2 for myself.
Yeah.
Do you get? But you're not saying I should go and do with acquaintance that maybe some nights when we're going say drop me at the junction. I know from the junction how you get.
I don't even know what to do for a living.
No, but so acquaintance could be working in the same company. Not everybody that works in the same company is a friend.
Do you know they are playing with fire? Yeah, this is why you play very dangerous. For someone that is saying that, look, you know what? Stop advising. You've said that.
You know, some people go into businesses with friends and they dupe them.
Of course.
But people go into businesses, it works out and they become friends. And I've been in that situation.
Yeah,
that's why I'm speaking about this. That's why I had a business with when we met, we're acquaintances.
And it just worked out.
And everything worked out. And now we're like best of friends. You understand? It grew like that. Okay. But I'm not advising. Don't take my advice for it.
Use your own. What type of business?
You said it's not discussed.
No, but I want to know, right? Not like you have to say the actual business you guys are into.
Wait, but like money. Involve money.
I would hope so.
Of course not.
What I mean is there's some businesses that are exactly. Is it trading? Is it maybe nightlife? Is it nightlife? Exactly, but there's some businesses that are easy to run like that.
Believe me, this was not easy to run.
Think
so? I don't think any business is easy.
No, it's not easy.
But what I mean, I'm not saying easy. Maybe easy was not the right word. What I mean is that there's some business that would not necessarily have so much exactly take much of your time, demand, all those things, and those type of businesses. Of course, it's
but believe me, this one requires a lot of trust because you work with a lot of people.
Yeah.
Somebody deals with the books, somebody deals with the partners, somebody reports that. So it's easy for.
There's room
believe
for
me.
I mean, I think all businesses have their
still like businesses are different, so it depends. I'm happy that you worked with your acquaintance.
He's not your best man. He's not the best man at your wedding.
Really, anybody that wants to invest, just know who you're investing with.
Yeah, definitely. That's key.
I think that is true, but I also think that there should be a lot more awareness around how accessible homes are now, because a lot of people. I don't want to say my age group, but you put it there why they pay 30K, so I don't even know. But a lot of people.
What's the value? So this is your so-called what's the value of money? Because everything has changed.
I know when I was younger, they'll give me 100 naira, I used to dance. So a lot of value of money.
I'm going to dance. If I give free money, I'm going to dance. But the point I'm really trying to make is that the time has come for conversations around alternative pathways to home ownership.
Yeah.
The time has come for us to begin to actually consider like, okay, you know what, maybe I want to live in a 7-bedroom house in VI, but what I can afford is this. And maybe I should buy. Maybe I shouldn't wait like Ezigbo 2 years.
Just be true to yourself.
Maybe I shouldn't wait 2 years like Ezigbo. Maybe
honestly,
maybe sometimes I should just decide to test the depth.
The waters. Exactly. Put one leg.
Jump in.
Put one leg. If you see that the water is not that cold. How much are those homes now?
You said the homes were 14, the 2 beds. How much are they now?
I mean, like the 2 beds now are about 24 million.
Oh, wow.
That's 10 million naira in 2 years. It's not too late.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry.
But the thing is that, with a mortgage then, things would have been very affordable because you were looking at the equity contribution as low as like 14K or something like that.
Literally, every month only for if I rush
initially then exactly when the mortgage kicks in,
paying their equity, went straight to started paying their perfection.
Imagine if they are buying a house, selling those houses now on the market, already home.
And that's literally what she's like. Look, they've made. I mean, so if you and your friend entered that time, and then now you would have made a good 10 million.
But at the end of the day, I think our conversation still boils down to affordable housing is not a myth. You can actually purchase houses.
But there's one thing I just want to say to that.
Okay.
I mean, we're saying it's not a myth.
Yeah.
But I mean, each day that goes by, especially in the economic situation we're in, it continues to look like a myth because, prices are going up. Then we obviously, apart from we're developers and obviously want to solve this African problem, right? Okay. But at the same time, too, we need to make money because we need to pay salaries and all of those things. So obviously, we have to progress to those things. So sometimes when people see we're raising price, they're like, you guys are too...
Everybody's raising price. Nobody should give
exactly. But
Gala is now 100 naira. Let's calm down.
Okay. How much was it before?
50 naira.
50 that's 100. That's a
exactly.
lot.
So everybody's raising price now. So
or reducing the quality.
But we don't compromise on quality.
Okay, so that's good. You were going to say something.
Shout out, Mr.
You were saying something before we go.
Yeah, before we go, I'm just saying that, like, at the end of the day, right, like Ezigbo said, and Tade, and the conversation that we've had is long and short. You can afford a house, right?
You just need to think
buy within your budget.
You think it's really important that as people get older and they begin to say, I need to actually begin to put some stability in my life and think of like a home. And you need to think about what's like affordable to me. You think what's related because people have other needs, right? You're going to pay your kids' school fees. You're going to,
let's not even bring family into. Let's not even say you're married. You
have needs
as an individual.
Yes, but really and truly, you have to meet those needs, but also meet the ultimate need of owning a home over your head. So that's also, it's important that you begin to want to consider pathways, consider homes, because you mentioned now that you would have made X amount in the 2 years. So even if you weren't going to live there, you would have sold it and then put the money into buying
your own home, your dream
you really
home.
want.
Exactly.
So it's also one thing to talk about that. But the last thing I want to touch on quickly before we leave is how accessible, because I know that mortgage is really tied to like income that you earn consistently. So how accessible? So I feel like that sort of limits the pool. So the prerequisites or requirements that you must meet if you want to tap into this pathway, or let me just say channel to own a home. So if you run a business, for example, are these options still available for you?
Like what options? Mortgage?
Like mortgage options through Mixta.
So I mean, if you're an entrepreneur, like you don't work for a corporate body.
You work for yourself.
Yeah, work for yourself. You can't use the NHF. You can't. But I mean, there's another initiative that we've just introduced, the HSF.
Oh, okay, that's nice.
But I mean, you have for that one, they're also like
they have their own requirements.
Exactly. So for that,
do you want to give us a bit? Do you
want to dabble or you want to like?
No,
so I mean, look it up online.
Yes.
I said the website.
Mixtafrica.com.
1A2 is 1A.
1A. Yeah.
Okay, great. Yes. All right, great. So if anyone is looking for the information, everything is on there. So if you're an entrepreneur, you want to buy an affordable home, you should consider ideally.
And Mixta delivers.
Okay, and just on that point, we just launched something exciting, the rent-to-own scheme. And we're talking about making housing more accessible to people. So what this allows you to do is that you don't have to own the home immediately. You have some sort of like teaser. So you rent the house for a duration or period. And once that time elapses, obviously, once you've tasted that lifestyle that we offer at Mixta Africa, then you then have the opportunity to opt in and purchase it at a certain price.
To buy.
Yeah, you have the option to buy.
All right, great. And is that's on the website, right?
Oh yes, that's on the website. We just launched like a massive campaign around this.
Okay, so great. I'm sure we've heard about. I'm sure our listeners will be excited. I'm sure they'll be innovated with.
And I know something Mixta really delivers in his lifestyle. You guys always provide like great lifestyle.
All right.
Anyways, on that note, we thank you guys for
thank you both so much for joining us today.
It was an interesting conversation. It really was.
All right.
But anyways, and
on that note, we say thank you, our listeners.
Yes,
and enjoy the rest of your day.
Bye, guys.
Bye.